Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video today, where today I have looked around and I have found the 7 most strangest, odd, weirdest guns that I could find here in the Novritsch offices. If you haven't known, or if you don't know, I'm in Vienna, in Austria, visiting the Novritsch HQ, and yeah, I've kind of just gone on a bit of a rampant run around and found the weirdest guns that I could find, and I'm going to show them off to you today. So yeah, let's get started. So the first riff on the table I'm going to look at is this absolute beast of a shotgun. This is a fully automatic shotgun. It is called the SGR-12, and it is a beast. It makes me feel like it's from Alien, or like, you know, I feel like I'm Ripley holding this thing. It is bloody massive, and not only does it come with this rather large and themed stick mag as well, you see all the faux shotgun shells in there too, but it also comes with a drum mag option. Now there are a few features here which separate it out from the crowd, but I would say the biggest one of the bunch is the fact that this thing has got 3 inner barrels. And not only that, they have their own individual hop-ups as well. So that means each shot you're firing 3 BBs, each one of them is going to go on a different trajectory. So you could kind of like zero this in for like a 20-meter BB, a 40-meter BB, and a 60-meter BB. If you're shooting somebody quite close, then all 3 BBs are probably going to hit them. But if you're shooting at range, or if there's like a spread of enemies out there, you're going to be able to kind of like engage all of them at the exact same time. Now I'm going to take this magazine out just because it is so bloody noisy, and you can get a fair few bloody BBs in this thing, I tell you that. Now never look down the end of your barrel without iPro on, and generally you shouldn't really do that anyway, but for this, it's just for science. So if I show you there, you can see, or I think you can see, the 3 inner barrels at the end poking out there. And if I just come around here and actuate this cheeky little lever, you can see the hop up adjustment for each of those barrels. Now that is cool, and that is pretty unique. Like, I expect there probably are some other guns out there that do have a similar system to this, but it is really cool. It is really, really cool. Now, like I said earlier, this thing is actually a fully automatic shotgun. And again, if I come around here, I can show you the fire selector switch where we have it on safe. We have single shot, but 1 single shot from each of the barrels, and then you have full auto from each of the barrels as well. And that is just absolutely insane. This is a street sweeper if I ever did see one. Like, literally, you're just gonna be like all over the place. Like, this thing only really needs to fire, what, like 15 rounds a second from one of the barrels, and that's gonna be putting out 45 BBs every single second. That blows my mind. Imagine if you then DSG'd this as well, if you're able to do that. Like, that would just be an absolutely ridiculous rate of fire that you'd be getting out of this thing. And no wonder these bloody magazines are so big with so many BBs in there. Like, if you're running this thing on full auto, you're gonna go through BBs 3 times faster than you otherwise would do because of those 3 inner barrels. Now, it is big. It's not as heavy as I thought it would be, to be honest. Like, it does have a weight to it. It is quite weighty, but it isn't as heavy as I thought it would be. But it's still something that is gonna give you probably the biggest arm workout, or one of the biggest arm workouts you will ever have in the airsoft field, just because you're gonna be wanting to pull the trigger on this thing so bloody much. Oh, you would have a really good day with this. It's things like this though, when I find them around the Novritsch offices, I'm a little bit like, why do you have this? Like, what are you working on? Is this just for fun, or is this research? Who knows? But if you would like to see Novritsch release a tri-barrel fully automatic shotgun, let me know that in the comments below as well. Next up, we have something which I think has a lot to do with the cool factor. It's not super fancy, but it is something that does look the part. And for, you know, if you're looking to go for that cowboy theme, then this is exactly for you. Now, I have looked at something like this similarly in the past. The SRC revolver is the one that I had. This is the WinGun Super Sport 703. Now, it's like a full metal body. You have got your plastic handle where if you pull it up, you can see that's exactly where the CO2 bulb goes in there. It's single shot, you've got safety, you've got fire. But the cool thing where this stands out from the crowd and other revolvers on the market is the cylinder you can push out, and each of your BBs goes in these rounds here. Like, if I push the little extractor, each of these shells comes out, you put your BB in the end of the shell there, put it back in, and then you're ready to go. You can spin this to go back in and then flick it in as well. It is cool to do that. It does feel cool, but it can break them, so you have to be a little bit careful with that. It feels cool, it looks good. It's not my cup of tea. It's not like a tactical kind of option where you're going to be able to run into a room and take tons of people out really quickly. But you know what? If you like it, you like it. and you should probably go pick one up. Novritsch revolver? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. Let's go and have a look at another shotgun, but this shotgun is a little bit special. So it's hiding here at the front of the table. It is a double barrel CO2 shotgun here, and if you press this button on the bottom here, your 2 barrels open up. You can then put your shells in there, and it looks like it uses like real live shells. On the side it does say 24 grams 70mm, which makes me feel like these are like real live shells. The tops have been cut off too, because usually on the shells the top bit is crimped over to keep all the kind of like, you know, the shot in there, and yeah, they do feel and look like they are legit shells. And all you do is you take your shotgun, you put your shells in the barrels just like that, shot that up, and then you are ready to fire. And you can either fire both barrels at the same time, the left one or just the right one. And to do that, you've got this little switcher here. So when it's in the middle, it's both barrels. If I do it to this side, it's just this barrel here, just the left one. And if I do it to this side like that, it's gonna be just the right barrel. See, look. So I told these guys earlier that I have a completely rational fear of cotton wool. I hate it. And now Daniel decided to come back with a couple packs of it, but I have a shotgun now. So yeah, bugger off. Anyway, back to the shotgun. Once you've got your kind of like setup on what you want to do, you just pull the trigger, it goes bang, and then hopefully somebody downrange will then kind of like be in pain as a result. And if you've been keeping up on my Instagram, you would see that I've released some videos on this already, having a cheeky little look. Right barrel first, just like this. And then we'll swap over to the left barrel, just like this. And that's pretty much it. And then you can open it up on the bottom. This shotgun, it is cool. I like the feel of it, I like the look of it. Make your BBs count is gonna be a big factor when rocking this shotgun. But you know what, from the cool factor, it feels good, it looks good, and just the whole kind of realism aspect of it, it's just, yeah, a very fun piece. I wonder if they're making a shotgun too. Next up, we have a rifle, which I'm sure you're going to be familiar with because they did quite a few videos on this back in the day. And this is the classic Army DT4 M4. The charging handle is a bit broken, so I'm just going to leave that out. I'll leave that out to the side. And on first appearances, this thing looks like any standard M4. However, the magic doesn't really get seen until I start aiming it at your face. This thing has 2 barrels, it has 2 magazines. That means you can have double the fun. And you bloody would have double for the fun. I tell you that, it's so mad to me that this thing is in existence. Like literally you put both your standard M4 magazines in there just like that. It takes one magazine to feed this barrel, the other magazine to feed that barrel. And like I said with the shotgun, you can have the hop for each barrel set for different ranges. So you can have like the left one set for like, you know, 40 meters or so. The other one set to 80 meters or so. So when you're engaging targets, you literally just kind of like put your red dot in the middle and your BBs are going to go everywhere. Granted, that does mean that if you're shooting somebody a bit closer, the hop up for the longer range barrel could mean the BB goes a little bit higher, but you know what? We're all here to play airsoft. We're all going out to get shot as much as we are going out to shoot people. So if you hit somebody in the penis or you hit somebody in the face, it doesn't matter, it's all part of the game. And I think the sooner everybody in the world realizes that, the more fun we can have playing airsoft. Am I right? Yes. Yes, I am right. But this thing is, I don't know, it's just funny to me. Like, it's the fact that this exists, it just kind of like fills my heart with joy. Because I love weird stuff. I love fun things where people have just gone, looked at it and said, you know what, I'm gonna make that just because I can. So the fact that this exists is very, very cool. And it looks like it's a lot of fun to play. Now, you can't operate each barrel independently. There's essentially like a dual piston inside the dual cylinder kind of like setup. So every time you shoot, it's one BB from both barrels. So it's not like I'm going to use my left magazine up first and then I'm going to use my right magazine up next. It's just both magazines get shot at the exact same time with this gun. Oh, I feel like I want to take this out in the field. I really do. It is heavy. It's not as heavy as the shotgun, but it is heavy. Next up, we're going to take a little look at this Flintlock pistol. Now this is kind of like made the rounds a little bit. I know Kicking Mustang's done a video with one. I think Name's Nico has done a video with one, or he's shown it off, and this thing is pretty darn cool. What do you use that for? Oh, there we go. Look at that. Boom. Is that your magazine? Oh, yeah, so this is your magazine. All the BBs that were in there have now got out. So you take your BBs, put that one there, just like that, and then you take your little rod, load it in there just like so, and there is like a little vert catch on there, and those are your BBs in there. Now on the bottom of the pistol you can see you've got your gas fill there. It is a green gas pistol, and then once it's filled with gas and now with that cock back, you're now ready to fire. So this is definitely, like, I would say a collector's piece. If you wanted to kind of like go to an event and kind of like really play the part of the pirate, then this is kind of like going to be a must-have bit of kit for you, I would say. Like, it does feel really cool. The quality of this, the finish is super smooth, and all of the furniture on here does look absolutely lovely. So yeah, it is a cool bit of kit. There is a little bit missing on the bottom there, but this looks cool. And with the proper pirate holster as well, you are always going to be ready for your pirate war. Second to last, we're going to take a little look at this bazooka rocket launcher thingamabob. Like, this is a staple of pretty much every single World War II game. Now, this is essentially a 40mm grenade launcher. Granted, a lot of this is for show, a lot of this is unnecessary, but it's for the looks, and I think a lot of airsoft is for the looks. Like, this thing does look sick, it does look the part, it looks super legit, and you know what, it weighs a really legit amount as well. Like, you could probably get this and then not worry about your gym membership for a while, because this thing is a fair bit heavier than you would probably expect it to be. Now, to load rounds into this, like I said, it is a 40mm grenade launcher, just like that. And if I show you the top end here, that is essentially where you put your 40mm grenade, and this whole tube is a glorified firing pin. So if I come down here and look at the trigger, you'll see when I pull this trigger here, that little firing pin comes out there, and that is what fires off your grenades. That little firing pin pushes against this firing pin tube here, which then pokes in the bottom there, and if there was a grenade in there, that would be exploding right now. The sight, by the way, is a really cool feature of this too, because if I flip this open and kind of bring this area around, you'll see you've got a counter here for how far away the target is. So depending on how far away the target is, you would move this up or down, which then changes your trajectory when using the rocket launcher, and there is a little crosshair on that side there as well, just like that. So that is literally how you would aim it, and that is really cool. I really do like that. This would be so fun to use in the field, but again, it's so heavy. Maybe it'd be better for like a defending kind of game where you can just be in a building, putting grenades in there, launching them out, taking people out, but trying to run around with this thing, oh my god, I would get knackered so quickly. You have no idea. My stamina is terrible. Right, down to one, the final gun left on the table, and I've saved this for last because this is probably one of my favorite ones. It is super fancy, but at the same time, it's also something which we're all used to out in the field. But where this differs from all the guns on the table and all the guns I have back home is this feature. This is a gas blowback shell ejection rifle. So this thing is CO2 powered, and you would put your bulb there in the grip. You put a BB in the end of every single round that you have in the magazine, just like I showed you before with the revolver. And then all of these rounds, you then fit into this magazine. So look at that. That's how they get fed into the rifle. And this rifle is pretty much the most realistic kind of airsoft gun that you can get in terms of feel, in terms of function. You load it just like you would do a real life, real steel magazine. I'm just gonna check if there is anything in the chamber. I'm gonna pop that in, just like so. That loads the first round, and now you would be ready to go. Now this thing is a bit of a monster. It weighs a lot, and I'm happy that there's a bipod on there, because this is how I would feel comfortable using this kind of riff out in the field. I can only imagine the kind of feeling that this thing gives you when you're out in the field running it. I must say, out of them all, this is my favorite. Huge shout out to all my patrons for supporting the channel month after month. You guys are amazing, and I love each and every one of you. And also a massive shout out to the team here at Novritsch for letting me kind of run around, pick up stuff, and just kind of playing with everything that I want to. Oh, and use my Airsoft affiliate code with Novritsch, because there's a link in the description. If you click that, then you can support the channel, and yeah, I will appreciate it a million. And if you happen to be looking for some Airsoft friends, why not join the StayFreshShoe Airsoft community Discord server linked in the description below. And with that being said, thank you for watching this video. Remember to call your hits, and I'll see you in the next one.